few years ago, aliens were setting fires in Italy. A helicopter went to investigate and was shot down by the UFO. So now in the TV show Unidentified, Season 2, Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge go over to Italy to get to the bottom of all of this, and they are shown some really interesting evidence. So let's go over some of that. This is from a new article on How and Why, and it's just super fascinating. By the way, this is Jack with Cosmic Road. Get in here. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future videos. Please comment below as I'm going through the story. Please share this video on social media when it drops. Get the word out about what's going on at Cosmic Road. That would be super helpful. All right, Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge found photos of Italian helicopter destroyed by UFO in 2004. In 2003 and 2004, a series of unexplained fires broke out in Caneto de Caronia, Sicily, Italy. These fires were seen in household objects such as fridges, TVs, and mobile phones. The phenomenon attracted the attention of residents and dozens of experts, including scientists, electrical engineers, and military personnel. Yeah, I bet that attracted a lot of attention, right? If you got UFOs setting fire to part of your country, I think that's going to get some attention. Investigations ruled out arson, and an amazed scientist reported witnessing an unplugged electrical cable burst into flames. Unplugged electrical cable. That's so weird. Locals blamed supernatural forces, and the Vatican's chief exorcist even weighed in, stating that the fires could be caused by demons occupying electrical goods. Okay, why not? A leaked interim report by Italian Civil Protection Department, conducted with the involvement of a NASA scientist and ordered by the government, concluded that the most likely cause of the fires was aliens. I gotta repeat that. They concluded the most likely cause of the fires was aliens. The report estimated the cost of the 2-year investigation at $1.2 million. According to the report, the fires were caused... Oh my God, I'll stop doing that. According to the report, the fires were caused by high-powered electromagnetic emissions with a power of 12 to 15 gigawatts, which were not man-made. The report also cited a possible UFO landing near the village, which burnt imprints found in a field that could not be explained. Francesco Mantegna, his name is Francisco. Francisco, Sicily's civil protection chief, stated that they were still working on their conclusions. He noted that while they were not claiming little green men from Mars caused the fires, they were considering the possibility of unnatural forces producing a large amount of electromagnetic energy. Another possibility being explored was the testing of top-secret weapons by an unknown power capable of producing an enormous amount of energy. Really interesting that they're saying this was caused by electromagnetic energy. Why are UFOs starting fires with electromagnetic energy in Italy? That is fascinating and crazy. And apparently they were even causing unplugged-in cables to burst into flame. How does that make sense? What? In April 2004, when a series of mysterious fires broke out, the Italian military became involved, since there had been several reports by fishermen of luminous objects at night flying over and going into the sea. Well, I guess they did need to go into the sea. They're on fire. They're causing fires. Maybe they got some fire licking on the edges of the UFOs. They need to dive right in and put it out. The Italian military became involved since there had been several reports by fishermen of luminous objects at night flying over and going into the sea. Already did that. The military detected a UFO on the radar, but they could not make visual confirmation from the ground, so they sent a helicopter to investigate everything. In the Unidentified Inside America's UFO Investigation series, actually it's season 1, I take it all back. It's not season 2. Season 1, episode 6, from director of Advanced Aerial ATIP, Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge paid a visit to Rome, where they discovered shocking details about the 2004 Sicily UFO attack. Lieutenant Colonel Bruno Vardruccio of the Italian, I think I only butchered that one a little bit, of the Italian Navy Special Forces shared a story about a series of spontaneous fires in Sicily in 2004 and how a UFO approached the helicopter and fired a beam, forced the pilots to make an emergency landing. In 2004, and this is from a quote from Verdruccio, in 2004, in Sicily, a craft appeared a few hundred meters behind the copper tail, and it shot an electromagnetic ray that destroyed the helicopter wings. The signal was absolutely directional. It was a beam on a certain band of frequencies. Then we discovered that when they used their energy weapons, they must go outside stealth mode. We could see them on a certain band of electromagnetic frequencies. You could use the same frequency to provide, and now it's getting glitchy again, just when we're getting to the really interesting stuff. We could see them on a certain band of electromagnetic frequencies. You could use the same frequency to provide a radio beacon to call them, to attract them, to show them that we have understood their technology, said Verdruccio. Well, did they? Did they call them? Did they attract them? It says you can, or you could. Did they? It doesn't say. Well, let's get into it. Once the helicopter approached the coordinates, the UFO revealed itself, coming out of stealth mode. Officials said the helicopter was chased by a saucer-shaped U.A.P. that shot a powerful, focused electromagnetic beam. So I guess that's different from a laser. It's an electromagnetic beam. I had been thinking it was a laser, but no, it's like some sort of weird electromagnetic energy weapon. I've never seen that before, so interesting. Yeah, they fired this beam at the rotors. It fried them enough to disable the helicopter and force it to crash land. They figured out that the source of these spontaneous fires was an electromagnetic frequency from the sea. About 80 kilometers offshore in deep underwater really surprised Elizondo, as he was quite aware of underwater sightings. Well, if he was quite aware, why did it surprise him? I don't know if this article is written really well, but whatever. Tom DeLonge and Lou Elizondo go to Rome. Yeah, that's fun. Elizondo said they were very pointed and a matter of fact that these things had been kind of plaguing them for some time. One individual in particular provided some very, very detailed information to include some analysis on frequency. I hate to say it, but they may have more information than we do, even in the U.S. potentially. Intriguing. Okay, I wish you would expound on that a little bit. There's an Italian official or somebody involved in their UFO program that may have more information than we do in the U.S. I guess he means an ATIP. Another incident involved Captain Achille Zaghetti and his co-pilot, who encountered a 10-foot-long khaki-colored UFO. It's interesting. I don't often come across khaki-colored UFOs. They encountered this thing while flying from Milan to Heathrow. Captain Zaghetti recounting the 1991 event above Leeds, Kent, told Italian journalist it was shaped like a cigar and passed very close, about 300 meters on the right or 1,000 feet. The color was military beige. We guessed that it was around 3 meters long. It was approximately 8 or 9 p.m. when it was still bright at altitude. It was bright at altitude, but pitch black on the ground, said Zaghetti, who resides in Grosseto, Tuscany. It would have caused a terrible accident. If you're flying at 700 kilometers an hour, hitting an object of 1 kilogram is like hitting something which weighs 700 kilograms. Air traffic controllers at Heathrow spotted the UFO on the radar while directing a British Airways jet into the airport. Captain Zaghetti claimed the object was not a weather balloon and resembled instead the sort of long-distance fuel tanks that fighter aircraft sometimes carry. And that's interesting because that resembles the Tic Tac, the famous Tic Tac. There have been similar objects sighted since like the 1950s. Back then it was described as a butane tank-shaped craft. And so he's describing it as a looking like a fuel tank. So, I don't know if that's the same object, but it certainly sounds similar. He was later contacted by a counterterrorism official from an American agency who asked for more details about the encounter. He said he was glad his co-pilot had seen the UFO as well because he did not want to be accused of being a fantasist. And we had to visit the doctors every 6 months, Captain Zaghetti added, saying there were no doubts about his health at the time. Had any foreign adversary attacked a military helicopter of another nation, that could be surely a sign of aggression and maybe potentially an act of war. So that's a big deal, Elizondo said. So are the world militaries engaged in combat with UFOs? It was not the first time UFO attacked man-made crafts and missiles. No, of course not. I've covered that multiple times on the channel. We fired at them and they fired at us. And not just fired at us, but displaced us. Military jets will be pursuing a UFO and they will be displaced. They will vanish. Sometimes they will reappear and sometimes they will not. For 18 years, Robert Jacobs, a former U.S. Air Force officer, had been participating in the official U.S. government-ordered UFO cover-up. The cover-up was about the UFO shooting down one of the ballistic missiles back in 1964 in Big Sur, California. He claimed that his colleagues had ridiculed him for writing about this cover-up, and I wish I would stop doing that. He claimed that his colleagues had ridiculed him for writing about this cover-up that appeared in the National Enquirer. I could read the full article here. That sounds intriguing. According to him, the warhead was approached by a UFO and fired a beam of light from different directions. Subsequently, the warhead malfunctioned and tumbled out of a suborbit hundreds of miles south of its target. This unidentified flying thing, had apparently shot down an American dummy atomic warhead. Did it know it was a dummy? I don't know, but that's the end of the article. I'm kind of curious to see what it says in the Enquirer article. Let's see. Well, it just takes me to another House and Why. For 18 years, Robert Jacobs had been participating in the official U.S. government cover-up. He claimed that he had been ridiculed by his colleagues for writing about the cover-up that appeared in the National Enquirer. Okay, there we go. That's the Enquirer. The cover-up was about the UFO shooting down one of the ballistic missiles. Blah, blah, blah. His job was to establish a long-range tracking site. Okay, all right, I'm just skimming. Kingston, George, Operations Analyst for Headquarters 1st Strategic Aerospace Division, was monitoring all the missile activities and asked all the engineers, civilians, and military to provide him the side look at all stages of powered flight. Dr. Jacobs said due to the California coastline, that view was only possible for one side. Okay, I'm just skipping ahead. Dr. Jacobs and his team were given full access to the telescope. At the Big Sur tracking site, we were ready to go as the countdown from Vandenberg progressed loud and clear. It's just taking us through that day and the shooting down of that dummy warhead. The UFO fired a beam of light. Subsequently, the warhead malfunctioned and tumbled out of suborbit. Yeah, we've already done that. Let's see. After that, Major Manson asked him to never talk about it to anyone. Okay, that's really what I wanted to get to, was the cover-up. And suggested to him, if he was forced to talk about it, then he could say it was laser tracking strikes. Well, in 1964, we didn't have any laser tracking strikes. We don't have any laser tracking at all. Lasers were in their infancy in 1964. They were playthings. Yeah, okay, interesting. All right, so a fascinating case that Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge investigated in Italy. UFOs causing fires with electromagnetic devices. Also shooting down a helicopter with an electromagnetic energy beam. I have been fascinated by this event since I saw this on Unidentified. And I would love to get to the bottom of it. I would love similar cases. I haven't seen any similar cases to UFOs starting fires, and not just one fire, but a systematic pattern of starting fires in one particular area using a specific technology. What's up with that? I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's a weird one. If you have any ideas on why UFOs were causing fires in Italy, let me know, because I'm fascinated by this encounter or this event. So please like, please subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future videos. And please share this video when it drops on social media. Until next time, this is Jack out.